This video is brought to you by Nokian Tires, a leader in safety and sustainability. Maximize performance and efficiency with their made in USA all-season tires and their dedicated Hakkapeliitta EV winter line from the inventor of the winter tire. Learn more at nokiantire.com/EV. This video is also brought to you by Magna, forward for all.
Hello, welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. I'm in beautiful, sunny Southern California, and you know what that means, driving something performance-oriented, but not maybe the one you'd expect. Today I'm looking at low performance. This is Kyle's infamous Leaf. It was basically the cheapest electric car in the country at the time is when he bought it, and I'm gonna spend some time with it. Never really done anything older than the current Leaf. In fact, I reviewed that maybe a year or two ago on this channel, and it'll be interesting to see where that came from. So here it is, the Leaf, this beautiful 2012 Nissan Leaf. I say beautiful. It's seen better days. I would love to see what it looked like back in the day when it was actually created. But I'm here with our friends Patrick and Liv from the Mach-E vlog.
Hello.
Hello.
Granted, I would rather be driving your Mach-E today, but this is an experiment for me because, yeah, I've been curious to see where this came from. You know, electric cars have come so far, and this is their rough history. But it was the best-selling electric car for a long time, so.
Yeah, and we know some friends that just got a 2023 Leaf, so they're still around.
They're still around.
I would love to do that comparison, have them side by side.
Yeah.
When are we gonna make those electric? There's an ice cream truck coming
Everywhere
up,
we're
and I'm
going,
just like,
there's ice cream trucks.
I want to chase it down.
It's awesome. But yeah, you guys have been living with this for some time because Kyle brought it out here, and then the onboard charger was fixed. So part of this video is kind of like a health check on this Nissan Leaf. How is it doing? Is it still live? And actually, it sounds like it's better than ever because the charger actually works.
Having the ability to charge at home was a game changer because before that, we could only charge our Chatamo. The nearest one was about 7 miles away. So if you go there and back, the maximum range was like about 49 miles. So you were always trying to calculate, can we make it to the Chatamo charger?
And we'd have to charge to 100%, which at one point we got to like 4 kilowatts. We were crawling. So.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
A long time. So plugging in at home now, we have unlimited range because this is pretty much, if we're going anywhere that's less than 20 miles away, we take this. It's easy to park. It's a great little drive. It's perfect. So it's always fully charged, and we've never, well, okay, we're no Kyles, okay. We'll pull back in with quite a few miles of range, but still.
But it's actually good training for people that are new to EVs. We were sort of joking about this a little bit ago. So like the Mach-E, by default, it warns you when you're like 50 miles or less range. Well, this one starts with 49. So you get really used to like coming in with, 5 miles of range left.
Yeah, it's super low range. So I'm curious to drive this in a second, but I wanted to look kind of at the outside, which is kind of funny because that's a sore subject on one half. So everyone knows what's happened back here before. This was the original accident that Kyle bought it like this. And he's like, oh, maybe I'll fix it, maybe I won't. And then he jokingly calls it Arrow, which I guess you could call it that. But you guys, I guess recently, it's kind of evened out. So now it's not just on the back. There's also some damage up here up front.
Our neighbor made an addition. We live in a little street with lots of people parking outside. No one parks in their garages in SoCal. So our neighbor came and squished it. Just a little love tap, and he came and let us know, and Patrick reached out to Kyle. And
we were debating in text like what to do because our neighbor was very upfront. Like, I'll cover it, or we can go through insurance, and it felt a little bit silly to say like, please fix this, and we're gonna leave that. So,
it's not our car, and totally. It's down to
so
Kyle.
Kyle was sort of like, I don't really care. My concern was like, did the headlight crack, it's fine. And then at some point I figure we can get like a hook in here and like pull it out a little bit, and it should be
Or one of those suction things.
suction
Yeah.
cup.
I think it'll be an interesting experiment. Like we kind of get to.
Yeah,
it
DIY,
out.
fix your own
Yeah.
leaf. I'm just glad it didn't hurt this excellent missile thing. I mean, this is just crazy how that looks. But it is functional. It deflects air from the mirrors, so it is functional. Yeah, this thing is kind of cool. I'm glad it's red. Actually, you know what this color's called?
I don't. What?
Cayenne red.
Cayenne red.
That's what Nissan
Alright.
named this color.
Hinting
So
of that
Kyle's-
Porsche Cayenne.
Oh yeah. Kyle's Cayenne.
Yeah,
Leaf.
so Kyle does kind of have a Cayenne. But yeah, otherwise it seems to be about the same condition. This side looks pretty good. There's almost nothing, I mean, a tiny thing back here.
We didn't notice it before, and I don't think that's. I think it came like that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a zip tie.
Oh, is there?
There's a zip tie
Oh.
holding the inner well.
Oh, yeah, someone already tried to DIY fix that.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's seen better days, but you're right. This thing just works. It drives
Yeah.
you around town. How's the trunk space?
Oh well.
Well, by the way,
Hey,
so
onboard charger.
this is the onboard charger that failed, that QC Charge replaced, and Kyle did a video with them on that. But if you want to know what the onboard charger looks like without watching that video, you can see it here.
How heavy is it?
Let's
Oh, it's
see.
heavy. We should take it out. We're probably losing like 10 miles from this.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a person.
Wow.
Nah, a child.
And I do have a charger in here.
Oh,
Yeah, I do
we
have
don't
a
even
portable
know.
charger.
I think
It's
the,
loaded. It's ready.
the funny thing about this car is like, we got a whole bunch of cleaning stuff from McGuire's, and we might like try different things, like maybe wrap it or whatever. But it's just so useful that we normally just hop in. Don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, it's not clean. It's got dings and whatever, but it gets us from A to B easily, and we're not worried about it. And it's always like faster than all the ICE cars that are on the line. So.
That's true.
Once a car gets a certain age, it's almost like you don't want to like shine it and keep it
Yeah.
like pristine, because then it's like you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I
You
still
know?
kind of do, but like we just get in it and drive and forget about it. Really, like we haven't even taken this out because we're just using it.
It's like the guy that wears like shorts and a t-shirt on the weekends, but
Yeah.
irons them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like no. You're supposed to just like wrinkled shirt and
There's something to be said about a car you don't have to worry about, and like you said, just
Yeah.
take it from A to B. Low range, that's a little rough, but like you said, a lot of town errands. I mean, you guys live
Yeah.
close to a lot of things. We got tacos
do.
earlier that was like half a mile
we
from your
got
house.
2 different sets of tacos.
We went to 2 different taco places. All
Taco
could have been on this
Tuesday.
one
it's
range.
Taco Tuesday. That means 2 places, right?
I do have to say, so we moved here from Colorado, and my ICE vehicle wouldn't pass emissions. So I was without a car. We have a Mach-E, and we needed something else that was a good second vehicle. I was actually like talking to Alyssa, and Kyle was driving around in the Twizy. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We had some financial stresses. And he's like, just take the Leaf. We'll bring it out. And like, even if Kyle hadn't done that, this would be the perfect thing, I think, for that situation when we just really needed a second car for me to be able to go to doctor's appointments, go to groceries, whatever it is. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and longer
For that.
distances, you have the Mach-E, you can
Yeah.
do road trip stuff. It totally makes sense.
And I have totally wished on occasion that it had more range, but I mean, I guess we could park and charge it.
Yeah. like going this past Saturday, we went to an EV event down in San Diego, and that was just outside the range.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I sort of wanted to take the Leaf though, because it's talking about like all these new EVs and test drives of like Mercedes EQS SUV, and I'm like, I wanted to show up and like, here's the complete opposite end of the spectrum. So it would have been nice to have something with a little bit more range
We
for
should
that.
stretch it, or invite Kyle to stretch it, or you stretch it, Jordan.
I think we should still do the Leaf Murano or Leaf Cross Cabriolet, cut the top off, and make it the ultimate California cruiser.
That would
Okay.
actually be sweet.
That's the plan. But
We have to Photoshop it first.
we'll Photoshop that. But as it is now, let's take it out. I can't wait to drive this thing and see just how slow or fast it is. All right, firing it up.
I love that
Oh,
sound.
it
by
makes
the
the
way.
fun little noises.
Yeah.
This just feels so like weirdly retro. I don't even want to say weirdly, just fun retro. Like
It is.
this is awesome. So, feels 2012 in here, that's for sure. And
Before we go, I think we need to show the fancy CD.
Yeah. So this feels wonderful. Retro. Open. There you go. That's where you put your CD and the little map SD card.
I feel like you could put something else there. Like, should I put my phone there?
There's a thought. And you can close it like that. And I love that it has a night mode button. That's
I literally didn't even notice that.
But this is, yeah, wow. The old-fashioned, this just screams its age. Menu.
And it came pre-stickered. I think we'll leave it.
Yeah, little stickers. This is pretty, yeah, interesting. So, driving range. I love how it shows the map and a bunch of chargers. I wonder how many of those actually are still there and working. Because this is probably a pretty old map.
Can we zoom in?
Yeah, and how slow is it to zoom in? Okay. All right, let's get it. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I
Oh,
hate
no.
these maps
Oh,
so
no.
much.
Oh, dear.
It's like a black and white camera, almost. Just very desaturated.
But it has the angles of your turn and everything.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, good camera. So, wow. It's just like driving a Cadillac. It's just nice and smooth, quiet. So this is a pretty nice, like, cabin atmosphere. It's quiet.
And let me know if you're going to launch so I can brace,
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Kyle launched and it was crazy. I almost lost the phone.
Oh my gosh. The new Leaf is really not a bad car. And it's so cheap. Like, I think it really has its place in the market. But so does this one, especially he bought it for $37.50. That is
Insane.
so cheap. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little launch here. Yeah. It's saying we can do 46 miles. We know that's probably fairly accurate, actually, just given that Kyle did the highway range test on this and got 50 miles on the nose, which is better than I think any of us expected. But
And we're in eco mode?
I think we're in normal.
Okay.
Normal. Now we're in eco.
50
We just got
miles.
50
Dang.
miles now.
And we found that, when you first take it out, the range sort of bounces up and down as we go up the slightest of hills, and then it evens out, and it's pretty accurate as we get down into the pack.
Yeah, I wonder how it's calculating everything. It says 7.5 miles to our destination.
Sweet.
I think we can make it.
I feel like you might have
Good thing I'm in
jinxed it.
eco mode. I guess I'll put it out of eco
You think?
just to really feel the beans. So for people curious on the powertrain, this is 80 kilowatt motor up front, a full 107 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque, which is not great as far as most cars nowadays, but it's for an eco car, an economy hatchback, that's actually ironically a little bit competitive.
The nav actually shows you, like, here's the upcoming
That's really cool.
intersection.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
It's really not. I've seen worse. I've seen better, but for being 11, 12 years old, that's pretty good. And I haven't done enough research on how the Leaf changed from the first year to this one, the second year, but probably not much.
So, weirdly, the one thing that I know is different is you see how spacious this cabin is here. So 2017 and onwards, they close this off a lot, and it makes it difficult for me to drive because I drive with my left leg.
Yeah.
Because I'm an amputee. So like this model is actually perfect. There's tons of room. It's super spacious.
Yeah. So the old one's better.
Yeah. Well, up till 2017.
Yeah. But to feel that,
the sound,
the sound
the plastic.
of old Japanese. It's not old. It's just. What's funny though is the rearview mirror is the exact same one I have in my car, the Miata. And it's the same rearview mirror that's been used basically since 2008, I think, on pretty much all Mazdas, Infinitis, Nissans. They've all had the same thing.
So if we ever broke that, it's really easy to replace.
Oh my gosh, it's one of the most common parts imaginable.
Right
That's cool.
ahead onto Mission Avenue.
Wow.
That's
So
not a bad voice
this.
either.
So this is way different than so many other EVs because the I guess lack of one pedal driving, which most EVs have, not all of them, but throwing it back in eco mode too. Bit more regen, but still not a ton, but decent blending on the regen. But it definitely coasts more than pretty much any other EV.
I gotta be honest, I like that. Like,
Yeah.
I like two-pedal.
This feels more like a normal car.
Totally.
And back to your point, I think this really is a good entry point for people to get into an EV, just to see how it is, especially if it's like a second car. Like for you guys, your main car is an EV. It's just a really good EV, and this is like the second car that gets you around.
The beater.
This
No offense,
this
Liv.
also makes sense to have as for people who are like, oh, I've got my gas car and I can't give that up. Well, this could be a second or even third car depending on the family size.
Well, and we were talking with a neighbor, and we're like, this, like an old EV would make an excellent first car for a teenager.
Yeah. Because you don't also necessarily want them going all that far. So
It's got a natural
like-
leash.
yeah.
Yeah, like here, it's like, if you don't want your teenager to go to downtown San Diego or downtown LA, it's like,
Give them a leaf.
give them a
Give
leaf.
them a leaf. And so, yeah, part of the reason of the really subpar range is the battery pack, 24 kilowatt hours, pretty small. But yeah, it's pretty small battery, not much bigger than my electric motorcycle battery. But once again, for small commutes, it works.
And it's like a third the range of your motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Does that make sense?
But yeah, it's not like a super lightweight car. I mean, it is relatively small and lighter compared to most EVs, but compared to some of the other hatchbacks of the day, like the Nissan Versa, that's basically the gas version of this to some extent.
Now, I guess the goal would be find some free charging to take advantage of. Have a $3,700 car,
Yeah,
charge for free.
yeah, especially if you're calculating gas savings, especially in California.
Yeah.
There's a lot of perks for this. And it kind of gets you into that mindset of creative EV learning and EV ownership, of
Yeah.
like trying to figure out the strategy of, oh, how can I find the good charging? I enjoy that game. Some people, it stresses them out. I think if you just start doing it and get used to it, then it's not so much of a big deal. And if you learn to work with a 50-mile range, once you get a bigger EV, you'll be like, wow, I can go anywhere.
Plus, we have charging at home. So if you have that as a backup and you're not relying on some creative solutions, because that would definitely be stressful, especially if you drive 20 miles somewhere and then you're like, well,
Yep.
I got to do it.
But I think you're right. The 50-mile range is fine if you're charging at home or if the onboard charger works, so you can use the vast majority of level 2 chargers. But if you have nothing but the CHAdeMO that Kyle had when he bought it, that would be rough, and that would be a deal breaker for me, because like you said, you'd have to like literally route CHAdeMO into most of your routes. They're becoming increasingly rare because a lot of the new stations going in aren't including CHAdeMO. So it's a rough charger to live with, which is why I was somewhat surprised about all the newer Leafs still being sold. But that being said, the new Leaf has a really pretty impressive range, like 200-ish miles. For most people, you're charging at home, you don't have to worry about public charging at all. And it's not like it's great at that anyways. It's not really good for road trips. It doesn't have the cooling capabilities that road trip EVs need for continuous DC fast charging. So it really is just a city car. It's almost like, what are your needs in a city car? How much range do you need? Buy the Leaf that's associated with that, and you'll get the best deal. Of course, if you get new enough, then you might compete with the Bolt and even older Teslas now with some of the high mileage stuff. But this is pretty great. And if you find a Leaf at a dealer, I mean, you get that used EV tax credit possibly, which brings even more down on price.
So then that's the question is, does having a CHAdeMO vehicle reduce your selling power? Because if you have charging at home and that's all you have to worry about, that's amazing. But if you want to at some point be able to retain some of the value, like how is this actually going to keep its value? Not this.
Yeah.
This is a special.
I think that's going to end up being a component on the car that's not really viewed as a feature. It's more of, it just has it but doesn't matter. I think most people are going to view these on the used market as kind of like the older Fiat 500Es and the Bolt EV, or not the Bolt, the Spark EV, the ones that had only level 2 that maybe weren't optioned with DC fast charging. They literally were viewed as the home and then go out and then return home type of car. But with a small enough battery, I mean, you really can get away with level 2 and get a decent amount of range just from charging off that compared to the full size of the battery. I mean, we're already down to like 36 miles estimated remaining.
Yeah.
And we've been probably about 7 miles. Throwing ominous.
What was that?
What was
noise?
that?
I think that means turn.
Does it?
I think you're, yeah, because I heard that the last time we turned.
Uh-huh.
That's so random. All the noises this car makes, I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Zoom back out. That's just too shaky.
Oh
But that was the ocean for a second.
Speaking of shaky, let me launch it.
my gosh.
Perfect.
Is that an eco?
We're gonna catch up to the monkey. No.
In 20 minutes.
That was an eco launch, I think.
Yeah. That felt different.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have arrived at your destination
No, we
on
haven't.
the left.
Oh.
Well, we just said here.
It's a weirdly soothing voice.
It is quite soothing.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Perfect.
He didn't even look.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Quiet and stealthy.
Yeah.
Wow, we found the ocean.
We found the ocean. Is that our arriving
I'm
sound?
going to
Maybe.
get that. By the way, are you a fan of Top Gun?
Yes. Oh,
Oh.
where's the Top Gun house?
We're
We're
getting
about
ready
to
to
go by
pass
it.
it. On the left, you can actually start to see the porch.
Oh. Got some wheel spin there. Oh, there it is.
The Top Gun house.
Top Gun house. That's so cool.
Please say a command.
End navigation.
There is no phone connected. Push the phone switch to connect a phone.
Nothing's more frustrating than communicating with any car.
So if anyone visits, the Strand is an excellent location to go. Regarding navigation, realistically, we would never ever use that though. Like
Well,
our
and
phones.
back to the point of this being a great first car for a young kid. I mean, that will help them appreciate where we came from.
That's true.
Wow, the
Okay.
suspension it's all right.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And it feels relatively sealed from the outside, but I guess I'm coming from Miata, so I don't know if I can say much.
Yeah, you did just drive across the country with no roof on, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
So this feels very quiet, comparatively speaking.
It's not bad for like an old car with small wheels that's with body damage.
Yeah. It's just so ugly, but it's so useful.
Do you think it's ugly because it's damaged, or like it's ugly?
No, it's
No.
those headlights.
I think that's cute.
Just all Leafs to me. It needs a lot of help in the cosmetics department, I think. So
Do we
if you
need to
did-
put
I was
eyelashes?
gonna say, if you put like makeup
Okay.
on it and stuff, that would maybe make it a bit better. But it's crazy to think this is one of the cheapest ways to drive around California. Like I've been driving by these used car lots on this road and seeing some cars for like 5, 6, 7,000. To think that this is cheaper,
You could buy 2 of these.
and you know this has almost 80,000 miles, which is a lot of miles, but less than a lot of other cars.
It has almost 80,000 miles.
Yep.
Wow. What do you think of the seats?
Cloth.
Yeah.
And I can't believe this has heated seats front and rear, heated steering wheel. That's like unheard of too.
See?
Drive mode, traction control off.
Really?
Don't worry, it doesn't have track mode.
Or does it?
Or does it? You're like ready to jump the
Tesla got me
back.
off the line. Yeah.
I mean, I threw my head back.
Yeah. VTEC vibes. Not fast, but at least it gives you everything all at once at the bottom.
This is
You know,
true.
some of those economy cars that are super cheap that this was kind of competing with on the gas level are very slow, and I would almost say dangerously slow at the at the low revs in the engine, because it's not enough power to get out of its own way. At least this one you can get up to highway speed at a relatively decent amount of time. But
Another beautiful view.
you guys live here?
We're still asking ourselves that.
Yeah.
And these are rough streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling it, but it's not horrible. And the biggest thing is like, there's not a ton of rattle from like loose parts or anything like that.
That's interesting because we recently drove the Lexus RZ350. You know, the Lexus
450?
product. Is it the 450?
Yeah.
Yeah. whatever's on the ET and GA platform and the Lexus side, and it had more rattles than this.
Really?
Really
And it's
interesting.
a brand new press car.
And I'm a fan of driving something that's like a little pre-loved also.
Oh, that's great, and it takes the pressure off, I think.
Yeah.
Anything that results in some sort of damage to your car, it's a very high percentage chance. And so if you give them something like this, already pre-loved, like you said, it takes the pressure off, and it's not so big of a deal.
Sort of like us with the ding in the front. It's like, it's already bashed in the back.
Now it's
okay.
balanced.
Yeah, it's on one side though.
Yeah, actually, I could send it into a curve on the right side, and then we could, have all balanced out.
Just full scrape. Could do that.
I'm just imagining the comments now.
Now they need charging here.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people that come here, spend the whole day on the beach. The beach is actually such a great place for people to charge.
It's true. They're here for like a few hours, but not
Yeah.
always all day, but not as short as like a fast food
Yeah.
situation.
We're gonna need more of that, like chargers in those short, long-term places.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could take the Leaf on the beach?
Yeah. That's what I would do. I would lift this thing, put on some rally tires, and chop the top.
I could see that.
Jeep spec.
Like beach buggy.
It's funny how it has like sort of a heads-up display, but it's not the like usual thing on the glass.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like a heads up?
Yeah. And it's actually in some ways preferable to me. Like some of the heads-up displays that shine on the glass are like either such low quality or something that they're not actually, I don't know, they don't strike me as super nice.
Also, this is a very appropriate size for these tiny little parking lots.
Yeah, imagine having like an F-150 Lightning right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
even
just drive over stuff.
with the Mach-E,
Uh-huh.
like I prefer like bringing this down here because we can fit in these tiny little spaces and to be quite honest, don't tell Kyle, but it's like I don't mind getting sand in this versus the Mach-E.
Well, and the door ding possibility with some of these tight parking lots.
Yeah. I'm so tickled that I can fit my whole water bottle in the side of the door. I didn't even realize that because I'm always putting it in the holder in the middle. Oh, this is a good spot.
Wow, look at the classic.
Yeah.
Park by that,
Yeah.
at least just to film.
These are two classics.
Yep.
Haha.
So that's pretty much been it. That's my first experience with an old Leaf. And honestly, I can say it hasn't come that far. The new one, sure, it is better. It is more modern and it has a bit more range, a bit more functionality. But this one, as we've discussed, really does handle just about everything I think an early driver would need, someone doing little city runs, little city errands. It's just fine, it works. And for that money, I mean, every time I look at a car, review a car, I think, okay, dollar per use, how does that break down? This is hard to beat. This is so cheap. And sure, low range, not great charging, but it does charge now. And it does have some range, and probably better than a bicycle. More weatherproof than some of those little three-wheel car things that are smaller and cheaper. But yeah, I'm thrilled. And I'll even say the lights, to Liv's point, adds a little bit of character. I still don't like it, but we can at least end the video on the Leaf's good side until I throw this side into a curb or something. And the beach behind us. And it's what got us here. I mean, beach driving with something this cheap, I can't even. That's good. That's really good. If you have any other ideas of cheaper EVs, or you've seen one even cheaper than this, $3,750, that's the current winner, I think, but there's got to be cheaper things out there. Let us know. I'm curious. Throw it in the comments below. Other people may be shopping, especially if you're watching this video, for something cheap but still electric. So we'd love to see kind of a symposium in the comments. Let us know what you've seen, if you have any deals in your area. We're curious. Maybe we should add some more to the out-of-spec fleet. Just have a whole huge fleet of tiny EVs. How many EVs can you buy for the price of a new R1S? Something like that. So in the meantime, gonna enjoy my Leaf, Kyle's Leaf, I guess, and maybe chop the top at some point. There's a lot of things we could do with this. It's already seen some rough spots, so what's a few more? Cheers.
Yeah.